Hello, parents. This is an advice week, and this is an advice week for you. I have come up with a top 10 of things that I think you might be thinking, and my general thoughts on those. Nobody wants to be going through what your child is going through, least of all your child. Denial is not going to fix this. If we could have a magic wand and be happy and comfortable in our own bodies and our own skins, going through life the way that we were biologically born, then that would be fantastic. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen any more than me choosing not to wear my glasses and assuming that that means that I can see. One of the best things that you can do in this situation right now is to educate yourself. There is an ever-growing number of websites and books and sources that you can buy or read for free, and please do it. In this situation, you can't know too much. You are currently living in the unknown, and I'm going to guess that your child is too. Although I think that you'll find that your child probably knows far more about their condition than you would ever imagine possible. Because if there is one thing that I have discovered about being a part of this wonderful trans community, it's just how aware everybody is of what's going on around them. And there is very much a trans community, and we are a welcoming group of people. If you have questions and you want to know, we will talk to you. This is why we're doing these videos. This is really why we're here. We're here to help people out. Talk to your child. The experience of being transgender is so individual specific and so very much a unique experience that an awful lot of things that you read, that you hear about, and that you hear other people saying may not apply to your child. So talk to them, have a conversation in exactly the same way that you would talk about anything. Be open with your child about what's going on in your head too, because they're not a mind reader. Unfortunately, being a transgender child doesn't mean that you're born with ESP, so they don't know what you're thinking. But also talk about other things. Talk about what's going on at school, talk about their friends, talk about what happened on TV, talk about celebrities. You don't have to see your child as being simply this one thing, because I promise you, your child is way more interesting than that. You, please, have got to listen. If your child says that they want to use different pronouns, they would like you to refer to he and him and his as opposed to her or hers, or perhaps their or theirs, please do it. It might seem like such a small thing, this idea of them having a different name or identifying in a different way and choosing a different way for you to address them. But you adhering to that is one of the biggest marks of respect that you can give your child. It is also one of the kindest things that you can do. Conversely, not doing it is one of the most destructive things that you can do. By respecting them, by listening to them, and by following their lead, I promise you, things are going to be good. Things are going to be beyond good. They'll come to a point where you won't even be able to remember what it was like when this wasn't just a natural part of life. I promise. There is absolutely no right way to do this. There's no rule book, there's no guidebook. We're all playing this by ear. And that's okay. That's okay. Because it means that in the end, what you're going to have is a really unique, personally tailored experience with your own offspring. And I think at the end of the day, if you can say that, that probably means that you're coming out ahead when it comes to parenting. One of the things that your child is probably experiencing to a terrifying degree is gender dysphoria. The relationship that your child has with their body is distressing, it is confusing, and they do not understand it. They will learn to. Any medical intervention in a transgender person's life is to help alleviate the dysphoria that they feel for their own body. There is no Pinocchio solution for this. What there are various solutions that will allow them to have ownership and pleasure from their own bodies. So don't worry too much about the one surgery. And don't worry too much about what's going on between their legs, because the experiences that they're going through right now and will continue to go through are so much wider and more far ranging than that. Other family members can be hard, but they will take your lead. If this isn't a big deal to you, it probably won't be a big deal to them. Who it will be a big deal to is your child. And your child needs your support now more than ever. So if you want to be on the side of your child, which I really hope that you do, then stand up for them. Don't allow family members to misgender them. Don't allow family members to misname them. Allow the possibility of conversation about what's going on so that people can relate with the process themselves. One of the biggest questions that I think an awful lot of people have is like, what do I tell the younger members of the family? Just tell them how it is. Kids have an amazing resilience. They also don't care as much as adults do. If you tell a 6-year-old that somebody is a boy, they will go, okay. There doesn't need to be a huge heart-to-heart about it because they don't have the preconceptions of the world that adults have. So don't worry. I was raised in a very Christian household, and I consider myself a person of faith now. I was lucky because I was raised to believe that God is love. My faith is ultimately certain that Jesus will be sitting at our table. I just really would love for you to focus on that and focus on the love that God has for his son and focus on every act of proof that God has ever given to that, and please prove the same to your child. And that brings me to my 10th point, and probably the biggest one and the most important one and the thread that should tie all of this together. Please keep loving your child, and please keep telling them that they're loved, because they love you, and that's why they came out to you, because they want you to share in their life and they want you to be part of this process and they want you to know them. And there's no bigger mark of respect than that. So I hope this was helpful. It's hard. We all find it hard, but we're all here. And if there's anything that we can do to help, or you want to discuss, or you want to talk about, then come talk to us. We're not terrifying people. We're just people.